from WCIA 3 Plus with your hosts Glenn Kinley, Courtney Lane Brewer, and Tristan Thomas. This is the SEFCU Your Illini Nation WCIA 3-in-1 podcast.
All right, welcome into the Your Illini Nation 3-in-1 podcast. I'm not Emily Harrington, but I'm Courtney Lane Brewer, joined by Tristan Thomas. Got a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot of news since Tristan and I last sat down. Feels apropos to start with Illinois men's basketball, who had a big week last week that, admittedly, I was out of town for quite a bit of it. So, Tristan, why don't you walk us through what last week looks like for the Illini?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was sending Glenn Kinley all over the map, right? I mean, you talk about the game in Nashville and the excitement there and pulling that off. Certainly, exciting for the non-conference. And I think now you look ahead to Missouri. If you can win that Missouri game, then you're like, okay, that's, I think, a fairly successful non-conference when you talk about the gauntlet that Illinois has gone through. And then the game at Ohio State, Bruce Thornton goes off for 24, I believe, in the first half. And then, Ohio State is definitely in it. Then the Illini pull away late. And it seemed like they just kind of held like a 5-6 point lead most of the way. And just really took care of business in the first Big Ten game. And then Saturday happened. The loss to Nebraska, letting a player go off again. Peyton Sandfort was unreal, scored 26 in the first half, 32 for the game. And then, Illinois, they punched back near the end of that first half and the second half. And it was a tie game. It was funny to see Ben Hummerkaus, his first points of the day, and then Tomislav Ivicic, his first points of the day in succession to get that game tied at 80. And then the Nebraska Cornhuskers walk it off with basically a buzzer-beating three. And certainly, look, I think you just look at it on its face, a home loss to Nebraska. People go, "Oh man, that's horrible. That's bad." Well, Nebraska, this is a career or a program history, best program history start. Now 11-0 on the season. So a ranked team and what's probably in my mind, if they stay in a similar path, that's probably a quad one loss and something you look back on as, maybe not great. Illinois did a lot of things to lose that game, but a loss you can recover from, and a loss that's going to give Brad Underwood, I think, a lot of ammo to his team, his young team, his team that has been, I'd say immature at times when you talk about some of the ways they could have won that game, the defensive errors, mistakes, lack of communication, the technical foul on Zvonimir Ivicic, a few things that we've seen this team. They're talented. It's just, can they, put it all together on both sides of the floor? That's going to be something, Brad Underwood and company have to answer.
This is the conversation that I've been having with a lot of people in my life, and you hit the nail on the head. On its face, this is not a great loss. I was speaking to somebody who only knows about Illinois basketball because of me, and they were like, "Courtney, what's happening to the Illini?" And I'm like, you have to understand, Nebraska's really good this year.
Yeah.
And credit to them. I'm all for parity in the Big Ten and seeing a team like Nebraska jump out and have a season. But I think that this is not as nearly as scary of a loss as it felt the night that it happened. I think there are still some positives to take
Keaton
away
Wagler.
from
Keaton Wagler is a positive.
Keaton Wagler,
19
Big
points.
Ten Freshman of the Week, Keaton Wagler.
19 points, 10 assists.
Yeah, a points assists double-double.
Yeah.
Who else are we seeing that from this year? Oh, yeah. Tiara Parchment, a points, steals, double-double.
Yeah, and she's really good too. Some stellar freshmen on both sides of Illini basketball. But I think, you look at the end of the day, Illinois was a double-digit favorite at home. Had two marquee wins. I guess Ohio State's not great this year, but still a Big Ten road win and a marquee win, basically on the road against Tennessee. And then you talk about coming home, State Farm Center, a great crowd on hand, really, when you talk about what was, a rough day weather-wise. Even me just getting into to the game there, it was pretty rough, sliding around a little bit, but got there in plenty of time. But a great crowd and, treated to some runs. We saw the team really put it together, start getting some stops, knock down some threes, and a wild first half, ended up tied. And then, like I said, right down to the wire there. But again, a long stretch before we get to bragging rights on the 22nd, a lot of practice time for Brad Underwood and the Illini, but certainly a lot of things to work on.
Bragging Rights has, in just the 2 years that I've been here, become such a turning point for me, a marker not just in the Illinois basketball season, but in the college basketball season. It feels like Christmas, but it feels like the turning point for when you really start to lock in. I think this year is no exception. I'll say I have not started to scout the Tigers yet, but what I do know is that this is a really big opportunity for Illinois, as it is every year, and as we see it has become in the golden revival of the Bragging Rights game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think like Missouri's a team. I've seen Missouri fans in my mentions say like, "Oh, look at Illinois. They're playing all these games. Meanwhile, we're playing mid-majors." So they haven't played like from what I understand, not a tough schedule to this point. Lost to Kansas so far.
Didn't they play Bethune-Cookman?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure I didn't make that up.
I'd assume so. So yeah, they haven't played a lot of the marquee teams Illinois has, but they're a talented group. Coach Gates has got a team that's capable of beating Illinois. Even when Illinois has been favored, we've seen a Missouri team come in and play with their hair on fire. And I remember Kobe Brown, a guy who's just he was one of their better players, more of a role player type guy, just look unbeatable against Illinois. And that rivalry's had a lot of juice with some Illinois players transferring over there throughout the time here with Brad Underwood. But still, yeah, a big game looking ahead to that. But, still can look back on the Nebraska game a little bit, and we'll hear from Brad Underwood and the players.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect place to stop. We're going to get you with Brad Underwood and players speaking after the Nebraska loss. And then when we come back, we'll have about 2-3 minutes to wrap up everything else going on in the world of Illini athletics, from the 8-game win streak that this women's team is on to continuing to prep for the bowl game. So we'll be right back.
The game, in my opinion, was all controlled by Fred's son. Anytime you're plus 23 in a 3-point game, your ability to dominate a basketball game doesn't always show up in points and all that. He got the rebound late. He made the pass late. He guards. He comes up with steals. Sam Hoiberg was absolutely the A-plus. That you guys all look at the points, I look at the plus minus, and game dominated by a guy who did all the little things and all the extra effort things to allow his team to win, and they deserved to win today. They were we self-destructed at times. They go on a 7-0 run after we get a dunk, and our immaturity, and that's on me for not ever stopping that in practice. When Z gets a dunk, he's got to grow up. 7-0 run for them. Loose balls, 50-50. Ball hits our hands out of traps. When you're mentally sharp and you're dialed in and you're focused, you come up with those. Today we didn't. And so my hat's off to them. They deserve to win the game, and they did.
For both of you, just what let Price go off in that first half, and how did they play off that in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it the last 2 days that he was one of the best shooters in the nation. For us, we call him Richards. So the whole focus was not to let him get clean looks. And I think in transition, we were very late with trying to find him specifically. But I think the biggest thing, though, is, mix 2 in the first. And, you got to get him off the line and take it inside the paint. But he just got way too many open looks, and especially in transition, we let him find free space throughout the court.
It's Keaton. Defensively, when that's 2 games in a row, only one guy has had a huge first half. But just what is maybe missing on that end from this team, at least this week?
Yeah, I'd just say it's a big part of communication. We get to be able to communicate early with each other because we know in transition we'll get cross-matched. And honestly, we have 4 guys that we need to talk that out and just find him in transition. And that's we didn't do that well, and that's what got him on his heater.
Keaton, yesterday Coach mentioned how the lifeblood of this team is quality shot choices. What kind of just drove you to come out of the second half and take initiative and take all those good shots?
Yeah, I just think that it was just the flow of the offense that we knew that we could get good shots, especially since they help a lot, and just being able to swing the ball, be willing passers, and just look for the open shot.
Colin, what do you think about your guys' process defensively? Where do you need to get to? What are the things you guys got to clean up?
I think Coach hit it spot on his immaturity sometimes. And then also being young also is difficult at times. A lot of missed switches because we're not talking, or in transition, we've talked about it all week, that don't run to the paint, run to the three-point line. They're not looking to get to the paint. They want to shoot threes. It's just frustrating, from last game, I let Bruce go off, and now we let Price get off today. We just got to fix those things, and then, like Coach said in the huddle, it's the details. Those things will win and lose you games.
Keaton, could you just kind of maybe break down that last play where Jamarcus got off that three? I mean, it seems like it was fairly well contested. Just what did you see there?
Horber got into the paint. I probably helped just a little too much than I should have, and then he swung it out, and then I think he just made a tough shot. Honestly, I had my hand up. Probably could have maybe got a little bit tighter on him with the time being, but he made a tough shot over a hand.
Kylan, from your perspective, is there something they did to take away post-ups? Just not a lot of touches for Tommy in the paint. I think all three of his shots were beyond the three-point line.
Yeah, we knew that they were big on not letting us trying to get to the post. Especially they were heavy helping on the backside. So they were early low man. And every time we got to the post, they'd try to send us baseline and come trap. So that wasn't kind of a focus for us this game. That we knew that wasn't probably be our best option. We were trying to get to the flow of other things.
For both of you guys, 8 days off now until you play Missouri. Just what's most important during this stretch now in responding from this?
Having great practices, making sure we maintain the health of our bodies, watching the film on this game 100%. But I think the capitalizing on these practice days will be huge for us, and especially maturing and going into Missouri.
Keaton, I mean, there's obviously 18 more Big Ten games to play, but what did you maybe learn about this team with the first two this week?
I think I learned that I've known this from the start, but we're really good, and that we're going to get to a point where, we'll win these types of games. We'll get down to these end of stretches because, every Big Ten game is going to be a tough game, and we'll get down and we won't make mistakes as many as we did late this game, and we'll win these games.
Colin, I know you're used to doing this, 37 minutes tonight, but Keaton plays 40 minutes. Just what is he giving you when he's playing 39 the other night, 40 this night?
Sometimes in these type of games, it's a necessity. As you can see, what he did for us down the stretch kept us in the game for sure. But he's prepared for that mentally and physically. And I'm really proud of him continuously just stepping into the spotlight, having the confidence day in and day out to be the guy that he needs to be for his team to be successful.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Brad, just where are you guys at defensively? What hurt tonight, or is there anything trending on that end?
Lack of communication is probably at the top of the list. They don't have any problems handling switches, and we run a lot of the same stuff. And it's a mental thing with us. I'm not worried about a guy getting on a heater. We let Casey Tominanga do the same thing. We've had other guys go off and have big games and a half. One guy's not going to beat you. Tonight was. They're good. Rank causes you problems. They've done that against everybody. They just 30-balled Wisconsin. They're going to make some really hard shots. What I didn't like is our approach to guarding them, and it's a mental tenacity, it's a toughness, it's a grit, and it's. We've had that. We had that in Tennessee. We actually had it throughout most of the Ohio State game, especially in the second half. And tonight it was just laissez-faire. It was, you look at our front line, there's nothing. I mean, you got a horrendous stat line from everybody that played. No rebounds, I mean, there's nothing there, and that's on me. That's in practice. That's getting more from them. They never give you a post up. Zach Edey never scored against them. That's not what they do. That's not what they give up. But having the ability to drive the ball downhill, and that's all we talked about, and having the ability to then score so you can get your defense set a little bit. Mental acuity, mental awareness in transition. How does the best shooter in the Big Ten get a butt-naked 3 minutes into the game in transition? That's just 5 dudes out there who aren't dialed in, and that's where I got to help them.
Brad, you talked yesterday about Nebraska's, maybe looking to score early in possessions. Just does that allow them to maybe kind of get up on you in a hurry, just offensively?
No, they're efficient. They don't take bad shots. They've done that in spurts in any game. It just happened to be at the start because we were pretty mentally not ready to go. The first possession of the game when we blow a switch, we're not very ready to go. And I mean, David was in Serbia. I mean, he wasn't in this building. And we got to be better. We got to be. We can't have that. And I'm just really disappointed in our mental approach to how we handled this game and the effort that it takes to win a Big Ten game. And that's not very good practices, and that ultimately falls on me.
Coach, as you said, they take away the post, but do you want to see Tommy more aggressive, looking for scoring opportunities?
Not in this game. We want him to be a receiver, a passer, a ball mover, shoot open threes. There was a post-up play in the first half where we held the ball. Kylan held it on the wing for about 5 seconds, looked at him because he had Sam on him, the guy right behind him. We threw the ball to Andre. Andre threw it right back, looking for a post-up. You're not going to get that. It's about next actions. It's about moving. We told these guys they weren't going to get those. If they got them, it was going to be on a short roll. Z misses a dunk on a short roll, at a post-up. Those are the things that were there, but strictly post-ups against these guys are a waste of time.
Coach, you talked yesterday about Andre's desire to get better on the defensive side and the rebounding side of things. Obviously, he finished with 10 rebounds today, but how would you assess his defensive effort today?
Yeah, better. I'm not going to say anybody was very good today defensively. 10 rebounds for him is a great jump. I wish he would have got 11 because Sam got that one. And again, it's a continual process, and Dre's making huge strides, and he was impacting the game at a very high level because he was rebounding and because he was scoring, and he's one of the best players in this league, and he's starting to grow and do some things in all areas.
Brad, you mentioned plus minus earlier, and I'm looking at minus 11 for David in 23 minutes. He's been so good. What was not working for him today?
That's a question for him. I got to figure out. He's to be very honest, 2 really bad practices. When David's focused and competing and flying around in practice, he's elite. And 3 turnovers. Couldn't play him. Couldn't put him in the game. And, that's, what's the old Bob Knight quote? Ask to bench to brain. I need to practice better. Whatever, something to that extent. You need to figure that out because he was not very good today.
I know you weren't very happy with the defensive effort tonight, but there was a little bit of a run at the end of the first half where you guys were able to tie up the game at halftime. Is there anything you did like in that area from the team that you would like them to continue?
Yeah, there was an aggressiveness about us. We actually got a couple stops. We had them in foul trouble. We had them pretty deep into their bench, so we got some stops, and we go on a 13-0 run to get it right back to where we want it, and then I started the same 5, and then we started awful in the second half, just like we did in the first.
This is just a snippet of Big Ten play this week, but what kind of impact can maybe these first 2 have for this team?
I don't know. I mean, it's one game. I don't look at anything other than the next game. You get one on the road, and I know we're really a good basketball team. And I know that if we're not sharp, we can get beat by anybody. And today, again, Nebraska's terrific. They're 11-0 for a reason, and they're very, very old, and that's a terrific basketball team who's very connected. And so I don't want to discredit them. They're fabulous, but we weren't, and you have to play 18 games with a mental edge if you want to win in this league, and if you don't, we'll get beat, and that's a harsh reality we learned today.
Brad, have you ever played a freshman here at 40 minutes? What has Keaton done to earn that trust?
Deserves it. I mean, look at his line every night. Deserves it. I can't play him that much. To be very honest, I need to get him. I need to get him out, but I had every intention of that in the second half, and then there was a couple early timeouts. It was a low possession game. There was 29 possessions in the first half, but he's been sensational, and he's a shot maker. He's a creator. He's a guy that when Dre, him, and Bam get going downhill. You look, we had the rebounds, we had the free throws. Those guys downhill were fabulous. But we've got 8 days here to get some other guys some opportunities here.
What do you hope the next 8 days look like, and what the message that you want to get across before Missouri?
Get better every single day. Really simple. Get better every single day. There's a lot of room. I said it after the Ohio State game. I said it after the Tennessee game. We have a very high ceiling, but it has to stem from it every day. It's all about the process. And, I wrote on the board today, 0-0 mentality. And you can't drink the poison of a win. You can't drink the poison or the negativity of a loss. And you have to have a 0-0 mentality and show up and do your job. And that's all I want every single day. And I didn't do a good enough job demanding that on Thursday and Friday, compared to what I had just seen before Ohio State, compared to what I had seen before Tennessee. And that was reflective of our performance today.
All right, welcome back. That was Brad Underwood and members of the Illini team. Once again, I'm not Emily Harrington. I apologize for that. Tristan and I are still figuring out odds and ends of how our system works, but I think we are getting better.
Yeah.
I think
It's
we're getting
a
better
whole
at
new
it.
setup. Thanks for bearing with us here.
But we're getting it down. Tristan, I continue to be amazed by this women's team. And, R. Kelly Finley asked me this morning when we were talking, Courtney, why isn't this team ranked? And I think that's a question a lot of people have.
Yeah, they got a vote in the last one, poll. But I think certainly more and more momentum. You keep winning, you're going to be ranked eventually. They were ranked last year at one stage, but yeah, the what stands out to me is just how talented this women's team is. Like, you got freshmen, you got some newcomers or some returners, some transfers. Maddie Weber off the bench is electric. They've got everything. They've got size with Letty. They've got scoring. They've got some dogs on defense. Like they just seem to embody what Shauna Green wants this team to be about. The win at North Texas, a little weird, a lot of fouls. Just another weird, kind of a weird game, but a capable North Texas team. And Illinois took care of business, and right on the brink of Big Ten play. Excited to see what they can do, because I think if they put everything together, Ciara Parchment, a lot of these players, Barry Wallace, that continue to ascend. I think another big season could be ahead in Big Ten play.
It's such an exciting time of the academic year, which is what runs our lives, where you have the season heating up on the basketball court. You're starting to think about spring sports, and football is winding up. And fortunately for Illini fans, this is a season where you're still thinking about football. So Tristan, in these last few seconds, because we'll have a whole nother one of these to talk bowl, as well as a bowl special. I don't know the date for that off the top of my head, but it will be on all of our social media, of course.
Yeah.
Tristan, can you give me just a few things you're looking forward to seeing on December 30th in Nashville?
Looking forward to see Luke Allmeyer play football, right? I I guess if I expected him to play, Brett Bielema said he expected him to play, but excited to see I'd say the best quarterback I've seen, like watching, with my eyes.
Like in front of your face.
Yeah, in an Illinois
That's fair.
uniform. So
Wow.
Nate Steelhouse is close, but I would give the edge to Luke.
I agree with you. I also was not surprised to see him come back. When you know the character of a guy like Luke Altmaier, you're not surprised by that at all. In that same vein, wasn't surprised by the defensive opt-outs. You're not cheering for that, but we're very excited for these guys and what they can do. And if that's what they feel is best for their careers, we know they're going to rep orange and blue all the way to the league.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll have a lot more bowl coverage leading up to this game. Thanks so much for tuning in for another episode of the WCIA 3-in-1 podcast. For Tristan Thomas, I'm Courtney Lane Brewer. Thanks so much for joining us.